Okay, another question that has to do with some Bible stuff, and what do we have to believe or not believe? Has to do with the virgin birth. Do we have to believe that Jesus was born of a virgin to be a Christian? Is that the deal breaker? Well, that's an interesting question. Um, no, I don't think so. There is a great book called The Meaning of Jesus that was co-written by N.T. Wright, who is the most prolific Christian apologist writer of our day, and brilliant, and a guy named Marcus Borg, who was a leading voice in progressive thinking when it comes to biblical interpretation and Christian living. And so they wrote this book called The Meaning of Jesus. It's an excellent book. You should get it and read it. And they go through some of the major pieces of Jesus' life and the meaning of Jesus, and they kind of give their two sides. One of the most powerful things that N.T. Wright said while he was talking about and even defending his belief in the virgin birth and all that stuff. After he makes his argument, Marcus Borg says, "Nah, I don't think you have to believe that at all." And Marcus Borg, that's how he was. But N.T. Wright's talking about how, well, I believe it, and this, and blah, 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 blah. But he gets to the very end of his chapter on this, and he, a guy who is one of the greatest and fairly conservative, orthodox, biblical scholars, Christian of our day, says this, essentially, that if we found out that Jesus was not born of a virgin, it really wouldn't make much difference in terms of my Christian faith. Wow. Now, people who really make this the big deal, and you have to believe it or else, they are tying this into a theological understanding about something else that happened toward the end of his life, where we look at Jesus in one vein, and this is just one vein of understanding his death, but we look at his death on the cross as a sacrifice for all. And their logic is Jesus had to be born in this spectacular, miraculous way so that he would be free of sin, so that when he died on the cross, he would actually be that pure, spotless lamb that would really wipe out the sins of all people forevermore. No, not really. I mean, in that theological understanding, I guess, but the disciples didn't even think about it that way for a long time, decades after Jesus was alive. And Jesus is much more than what happened to a young Jewish woman, in the early part of the first century. So, do you have to believe in Jesus, his virgin birth, in order to be a Jesus follower? No. I'll talk about Son of God next.